This is going to be the strangest broadcast. So, welcome to the Prophecy Club. It is 2:47 p.m. on Monday, 2/15/2021, when I'm making this broadcast. And the reason I'm laughing is actually, I think maybe it's like a response to all the pressure I'm under, because my electricity is out. So I had a chance today to test some of my, well, we used to call it Y2K preparations, but today I guess you'd call it the second snake bite preparations, or the preparations for the American solution. In other words, all of this stuff hitting. So in case you're wondering what my preparation, you probably hear all kinds of beeping going on. So here's what happened. About 4:30 this morning, my wife said, I think our electricity just went out. It woke her up. It didn't wake me up. But sure enough, our electricity was out for about an hour, and the temperature in the house got all the way down to 60 degrees before it came back on. And I thought, well, I'm about to have to break out my propane heaters and hook all the adapters up and get them all running. We did have the natural gas fireplace that was running, but, you know, that wasn't much. But we got it turned on full blast. Right now, here's what I did. So in case you know, in case you want to know, some preparations that you might want to do, that you definitely do want to do. Okay, so I bought me one of these deep cycled 12-volt Duracell cell batteries, and I have a 750-watt inverter hooked up to that. So right now, my computer, my monitor, my microphone, all of the gizmos, anything that is working is running off of a 12-volt battery through inverters. Even as we speak, and if you listen real carefully, you can hear in the background beeping and the fan running from this thing. Because I discovered that when my electricity went off, my battery backup is garbage. 5 minutes later, it was dead. And the electricity came back on for about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. And I thought, okay, we're just going to charge it back. No, it didn't. About 30 seconds after the electricity went off the next time, my computer was dead again. So I spent 2 hours hooking all of this stuff up. But in the meantime, I got 2 phone calls on my cell phone. And these phone calls are important. The first one was Pastor Massey. The second one was Dr. Bree Keaton. Both of them saying, Stan, what do you think is going on? Well, that prompted me to ask that question. What do I think is going on? I'm going to tell you what I really think is going on. And there's always a danger in that, is because, you know, when you're in the world of Bible prophecy and prophecy, you have to be careful everything you say, because there's these people out there with just rocks ready to throw. You know, they're neophytes, they're babes in the Bible, and they don't understand that a lot of times the prophecies are not guarantees of those things that are coming. Instead, I mean, even the prophecies in the Bible, many of them were not designed to come to pass, as was with Jonah. They're designed to get people to repent, clean up, because he's not trying to prove that he can speak to prophets. He's trying to fill his kingdom. He's trying to get people to pull themselves out of the devil's kingdom into his kingdom as fast as possible. So what do I think is going on? Right now, all across Texas, they say we're having rolling blackouts. Every time my electricity went off, it's so funny, because I'm used to having like no distractions. I've got beeping. I've got fans going in the background. I'm running off of a 12-volt battery right now. Electricity is going on and off. I think it's gone off now 5 times for me today, trying to get ready to make this broadcast. So what do I think is going on? I can tell you that at 4:30 when my electricity went off, I was glad that I had made preparations. I was glad that I had several of these lanterns that run on D-size batteries, and they were still in the box because I was hoping I wouldn't have to use them, but I had to battery them up and fire them up, but I was glad that I had electricity. I was glad that I had flashlights with plenty of batteries. I was glad that I had this little gizmo that sits on your head that has a little light on my forehead, because nobody wants to walk around with a lantern or a flashlight in their hand all the time. So I had to use that, because inside my garage it's, of course, pitch black. Anyway, so what do I think is going on? I think that all of this rolling electricity going out, all of this is a dry run. I think that what we're seeing, it's about to happen nationwide, and they just want to make certain that they can turn it off. Oh, they turned it off? Oh, yes. You better believe. You remember that the elite told Benjamin Fulford that we have run this planet for thousands of years, and we will continue to run it or we'll destroy it. Well, that's what they're preparing to do. That's what the American solution is. Remember, Hitler had what he called the final solution, which was to kill off all the Jews. Well, now, according to the Coverstone Dreams, they're coming out with the American solution. Still the same word, solution. So, and I emailed him. I talked about this in yesterday's program. If you missed that, go and listen to it. But essentially, I believe that they're about to come for Christians. And I think that these things we have been warning people about are about to hit. And I'd recommend that if you got any extra cash, well, I guess I can't recommend this. I can only tell you what God told me. So I'll tell you, I guess it's December 14th. He spoke to my heart and said, any extra cash you got laying around, you don't want to lose. You better put it in silver. I immediately called cornerstoneassetmetals.com. Of course, if you mention Prophecy Club, it helps us. And he took a check on the phone. 3 or 4 days later, the silver arrived. And he says he's got plenty of silver. Next thing is, I made certain that I had plenty of long-term storage food that won't go bad when it's not kept cold. Of course, these days you don't have to worry about keeping things cold. Matter of fact, it was 3 degrees in the DFW area today. I've lived here, 18 years or something like that. Never seen 3 degrees. That's extremely cold for us. Anyway, so yeah, if you don't have food, recommend you call Heaven's Harvest or go to heavensharvest.com and use the password STAN, and of course that helps us too. Finally, I think what's about to happen, which I'm about to talk about, there's a high probability that all of this is a dry run, because when they use the suitcase nukes, any place, it might not shut off all of the electricity. It would typically, if they kept their hands off of it, if there was only 1 or 2 of them went off, then there would only be regional blackouts. But now, if they shut off just one suitcase nuke, they can shut off the whole United States electricity. I don't think they're going to shut off for a couple of weeks. I suspect that they'll shut it off for a couple of months. And of course, what that's going to do is fulfill a lot of prophecies. Now, let me go through that. So here's what I'm about to say. I'm going to tell you what I think is actually happening. This is what I would have said to Massey and Bree, but I've thought it through. This is what I would say if they called now. I'd say, unless there is another delay, and there have been many, and God is famous for bringing delays, and we're glad to have them, but unless there is another delay, Tony Ariyomi says he heard the voice of God say we have 9 years. That would put the return of Jesus in 2030. Then there is the asteroid Apophis. According to Tom Horn, he says that is supposed to hit April 13th of 2029. Now, there is no guarantee that is one of the 7 trumpets or the 7 vials, which both occur in the last 7 months, and I just felt the anointing touch me. So I don't know what that's confirming, whether it's one of the trumpets or one of the vials, but apparently it's saying it is. If that is true, then that would put the return of Jesus on about or around in the year 2029. And then, of course, there's Terry Bennett. The angel that spoke to him, Gabriel, said that, in so many words, that Jesus would return in 2028. Okay, so that's 8, 9, or 10 years. That's somewhere in the ballpark between 2028 and 2030. Which means, if you back up 7 years before that to know the start of the tribulation, that would mean the tribulation would start in anywhere from 1 to 3 years, which would be the year 2022 or 2023. Now, that's 2 or 3 witnesses, which we don't have. I'm not trying to set a specific date. Don't say I did. But what it does say to me is we're real close. What it very well could be is that we could be seeing in the next 1 to 3 years is the time we have remaining to bring in the remaining souls that are in the book of life into the kingdom, then the tribulation hits. Okay, now that gets to the next question. Remember, I told you, August 8th, 2015, I heard the words, this is the time of miracles. And then he said, as the judgment hits, So what are my miracles? Miracles like no one has seen, going all the way back to Adam and Eve. And you tell them, I'm never going to leave them nor forsake them. As the devil shows up, I'm going to meet him inch for inch, step for step, pound for pound. Everything he does, I'm going to meet him. Okay, so that brings us to the next big question. So, is judgment about to hit? Well, based upon this last Coverstone dream of February 6 to 8, he calls the bunker dream, you have to say yes. My opinion, the interpretation of that dream is saying, yes, judgment's about to hit. And we're going to talk about that. It doesn't tell us exactly what the judgment is, but it does give us some very good hints. Now, I think it's probably saying that one of these three judgments is about to hit. One, either the suitcase nukes are going to go off. If that goes off, that's probably going to shut off our electricity for at least a couple of days, probably more the ballpark of a couple of months, and it may not ever come on again. Second thing is an earthquake in the middle of America and also California. We have prophecies on both of those. And we also have several prophecies about the dollars going worthless. One guy said worthless as leaves blowing in the wind. So is it going to be suitcase nukes? Is it going to be an earthquake? Is it going to be worthless dollars or a combination thereof or all three? Either way, right now, my electricity's off. I mean, it's a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call, and I think that that's what's going on right now. This is a dry run. You can expect more of this coming. Again, my electricity is still off. It's still off, and it's been off 30 minutes before I even started making this broadcast. So if it is the judgment, then what does that mean? I think that would mean that we can look for miracles to hit real soon. Based upon what Coverstone was told, the angel said to him, Passover 2021. Big things are coming for the world. Big things are coming for the world. I want to believe the positive. I want to believe that that's not Christians getting rounded up. I want to believe that that's the miracles that we've been looking for to start on about or around Passover 2021, which is why we have our Sevenfold Miracle Crusade starting March 27, which is Passover 2021, and going to March 30. So there again, I recommend strongly that you go there and get signed up to come. Yeah, well, stand up. There might not be airplanes flying. There might not. But ask yourself this. If Jesus asked you to hang around for the miracles to start in the upper room, would you have? Can you imagine being one that was living close to Jerusalem or even in Jerusalem and missing that event? I believe we're about to see that. All right, now I want to talk about Coverstone's latest dream. I talked about it in detail in yesterday's program. If you missed that, go and listen. And I'm going to say, with this one, I'm going to say most people will read this dream and their eyes are going to cross and they're going to say, huh? What's he talking about? See, I think that's one of my gifts is to interpret these dreams. I think you'd agree with that. I mean, how many dreams we had, or dreams and visions and stuff, and it's like I know. It's like Bible prophecy. I know. I've always been able to interpret Bible prophecy. Everybody else, their eyes are rolling in circles, and I'm saying, no, let me explain. Here's what it's saying. So here's how I think this fits into where we are today. I'm not going to cover every bit of it. But he says, I saw the skyline in Washington, D.C. and an overview of the White House. Okay, so we know what we're talking about. Then he saw on the wall, a sign that says, business as usual is over for everyone. I think we ought to heed that. I think we ought to believe that. I think we ought to listen, because what the angel is saying here is our world, as we have known it, is gone. That means Constitution, gone. Republic, gone. Dollar, gone. The world as we have known it, the comfortable world, the wonderful United States, gone. It's all gone. Gone. Now, the question is, what's coming next? All right, now let's skip down to the second paragraph. So he says, he saw these 16 men. Oh, hey, my electricity just came back on. Now, I was going to have all the noise here. I got a fan just turned on. I got the lights turned on. So now that means that my 12-volt battery is now charging rather than discharging. So we're going to keep on going. Hopefully it'll stay on for 30 minutes. Anyway, so he says he saw 16 men dressed in military uniforms, and the folders in front of them were big, thick folders, Now listen carefully. It said top secret. In other words, people not supposed to know about this. And it says the American solution. I believe that as Hitler had the final solution to rid the world of the Jews, this is the American solution to rid the world of Christians. For in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. And I can go through, I can give you several more scriptures. As a matter of fact, there's 2, 4, 6, 8 different scriptures, eight in Revelation alone that talk about Christians being killed. I saw under the altar the souls of those who were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? White robes are given to every one of them, said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. That's only one of them. There's many places. It's coming. And ask yourself, where are most of the Christians on the earth today? You would say America. Where are the Christians that have the power and authority to stop the devil? That would be America. So we all know he's coming after America. So let's keep going. So on top of this big stack of folders was top secret. Then the title said the American solution. I specifically asked Coverstone, do you think that this is the good guys going after the bad guys? Or do you think this is the bad guys going after the good guys? He said, no, this is the bad guys going after the good guys. There's more. Now he jumped, he says, one of the men stood and acknowledged the other men while saluting each one individually. Then he said, today we leap off of the mountain and fly towards a new beginning. You know, I think it's in that book about war. What is it? Art of War. There you go. Doesn't it say that you should always assume that your enemy has as much intelligence, as much war capability as you do? So when he's saying today we leap off of a mountain and fly towards a new beginning, I think we should believe him. What's he just saying? He's saying today there is no more Constitution. There is no more republic. The United States of America, the all-capital United States of America, that corporation gone. We already talked about this. November the 5th, look it up. Look it up. It's gone. It's dissolved. Go to the SEC. See if you can find it. It's gone. It's not there. There is no such thing as a corporate United States of America on the back of your $1 bills. Gone. It's gone. They know it. Can't get most people to believe it, but they're going to come to that understanding soon. Then the next sentence says, we've got to pay attention to this one. Many, though not us, will hit the precipice moments later. What's a precipice? Well, if you're climbing a mountain, until you get to the top, it's a precipice. Or if you're on the top, before you begin to fall, that's the precipice. It's saying that there's about to be a lot of people hit a wall. There's about to be a lot of people go into a lot of pain and suffering, though they won't be a part of it. What does it say? Listen carefully. Many, though not us, will hit the precipice moments later. Let me read the two sentences together. Today we leap off of the mountain and fly towards a new beginning, meaning today we have closed the old book. We're opening a new book. Many, though not us, will hit the precipice moments later. So when is this coming? Well, according to the sound in the background, my battery charging, me running off of a 12-volt battery to make this broadcast, it's here. It's here, my brothers and sisters. We've been trying to tell you, it's here. And by the way, there's not going to be a pre-trib or a mid-trib or a pre-wrath rapture. Nobody is going anywhere. And that whole misconception is also about to burst. Now let's go on to the next one. Two sentences down, it says, the gentleman pleased to report. A man in the suit and glasses stood up and said, 3 events are planned. 3 events. 3 events. Well, here's another way we would say that. We've got 3 different attack plans. If we can't attack them from the front, we'll attack them from the back. If we can't be successful at the back, we'll attack them from the side. We got 3 different ways to get to home plate. But we're going to get to home plate, but we think that the first plan is going to work. Okay, what are the events? We don't know, but let's take a guess. See, as prophecy students, since we know the prophecies, we got a pretty good idea. We got a pretty good idea that their plan probably has to do with suitcase nukes, an earthquake in the middle of America, California, or worthless dollars. Well, they can't control earthquakes. Oh, yes, they can. Oh, yes, they can. They do have earthquake machines. We know that they have the suitcase nukes and can control them. We know that they are controlling the dollar. They've been controlling the whole world financial system now for 300 years. It's called the SWIFT system, okay? We know that. So ask yourself this. Can they set off suitcase nukes? We've been talking about it since 1998. But now a lot of the patriots are starting to say, you know what? They're threatening to hit us with dirty bombs. Well, what do you suppose that is? Suitcase nuke. So now they're actually coming out and admitting they have something in that ballpark. We know they have earthquake weapons, and we know that they can cause a financial disaster. So could that be a list of all three of their planned events? If the suitcase nukes don't hit, then we'll try to hit them with the earthquake. If that doesn't hit, then we'll do the worthless dollars. So you want my opinion? I think the most likely thing is probably not the earthquake. I think the most likely thing, and we've kind of already started to see it, is the financial. I think we'll probably be looking at worthless dollars. Remember, Coverstone was told that there's not going to be any more coins. Well, just go to the store and see how many stores don't take your coins and won't give you any change. These days, it's all plastic. And before long, it's going to be all cell phone. It's all going to be digital. That's where it's going. We've been talking about this for years, but here it is. The day it's finally arrived. The thing I don't want to see of those three, yeah, the earthquake could cause a lot of problems. I don't want to see the suitcase nukes. That's the thing I pray about every day. Lord, don't let those suitcase nukes go off. Cause them to be found, dismantled, and swift, hard justice brought to the people that plan to use them. 3 events are planned, but if the first one hits hard enough, the other 2 will not be needed. Not be needed. Not be needed for what? For America to basically surrender, to succumb, to throw up their hands, to fall on their knees, and to let the ruling elite do what they want to do. See, right now they're trying to take the financial control away from them. So says wakeupcall.info. Now let's go to the next sentence. The next one is, Hoover will be proud, sir, and our list is pristine and better than it ever was. Our list? Okay, so I did some research, and the Herbert Hoover, one of the former presidents, I couldn't find the word list associated with his name. But as soon as I put in J. Edgar Hoover and search for lists, those words together, whoop, yeah, here it goes. Hoover was famous for having a list, a roundup list of the bad guys. Well, what he considered bad guys. So what this is saying, that there is a list. And who's on that list? Okay, let's skip down because the prophecy tells us. Now the angel came to him again. He said, bracing will save many, but will also speak to many. They will hunt you. And when you stand before the haters, it didn't say if, it said when. It said when. Bracing will save many. Now, what's bracing? I think that's talking about preparations. Yeah, spiritual preparations for sure, but also physical preparations. Like I'm hearing my stuff is really turning on over here. It's really struggling to make my broadcast from this 12-volt battery, but we got to do it. I think it's the preparations we've made. These preparations are going to help not just you, but also the people around us. The people that didn't want to hear about Jesus, oh, now they want to be your friend. And now they want to hear about Jesus since you're feeding them. You're keeping them warm. Bracing will save many, but also speak to many. In other words, how'd you know this was coming? Well, because I actually been following this stuff for a long time. How'd you know it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Now let's go to the next sentence. They will hunt you. All right, let's back up. What was our question? Hoover will be proud, sir, and our list, what list? They will hunt you. If you put that together, our list and they will hunt you, what is it? It's a roundup list of Christians, my brothers and sisters. We've had to endure a lot in the past, but we haven't had to endure what's about to hit us. I hate to say it, but there is what the prophecy is saying. What the prophecy is saying is there is a roundup list. And if you believe in Jesus, your name might be on it. If you believe in Jesus a whole lot, your name is probably on it. But if you're a prophecy student, if you understand what they're trying to do, you can count on it. Your name is on there. So when the door starts getting a knock at 4 o'clock in the morning, and there's flashlights shining at your front door, and they might not be ringing the doorbell, they might not be knocking, they might just be knocking down the door, and the next thing you realize there's a flashlight in your eye, and there's handcuffs on your wrists, and they've got a paddy wagon out front, and they didn't ask you what your name is. All of a sudden, all of these prophecies, all of these warnings are going to make sense. But understand, Jesus said he would never leave us nor forsake us. Understand that our objective in life is not to live a long, nice, happy life. Our objective is to get to heaven as an overcomer. Our objective is to give our life for our Lord. So, while it's going to be scary out of our mind, on the inside we're going to be saying, Lord, thy will be done. Give me strength. Like Dimitri, give me strength, Lord. Give me strength. Give me strength to go through this. HeavensHarvest.com, password Stan. EMPShield.com, passcode prophecy. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com, just mentioned Prophecy Club. HeavensHarvest.com, password Stan. EMPShield.com, password prophecy. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com, just mentioned Prophecy Club. Whatever you do, get prepared. Also, I'm going to tell you right now, when this judgment hits, excuse me, now that the judgment has hit at Crusade, at Sevenfold Miracle Crusade, it's going to fill up real quick. It's going to be, look, and it's not going to be just miracles. It's going to be people coming out of the woodwork like birds looking for worms. They're going to be coming out every place because the Spirit of God is about to hit America. You want to be at this upper room experience. You want to see the greatest miracle revival in human history, not just American history, human history. So you go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. You get signed up. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com, March 27 through 30. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. EMPShield.com, prophecy, HeavensHarvest.com, Stan, CornerstoneAssetMetals.com, mention Prophecy Club. August the 8th of 2015, Saturday night. Lord, I don't have anything to say. What do you want to say for the sermon tomorrow morning? And for the first time in my life, when I was awake, I heard words which said, this is the time of miracles. Then he downloaded to my heart that said, as the judgment hits, so will my miracles. Miracles like no one has seen going all the way back to Adam and Eve. You tell them, I will never leave them nor forsake them. As the devil shows up, I'm going to meet him inch for inch, step for step, pound for pound. Everything he does, I'm going to meet him. If you believe that America is about to be in judgment, then I strongly recommend you go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com, sign up, and be a part of the sevenfold miracles coming to the world to gather those last names into the book of life just before the tribulation starts. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com is owned by a prophecy student who reads his King James Bible and supports Prophecy Club. Call CornerstoneAssetMetals.com for gold, silver, palladium, rhodium bars, or coins. They can help you roll over your IRA, 401k, so tell CornerstoneAssetMetals.com Prophecy Club sent you. You can now watch 160 Prophecy Club recordings without interruption. The introductory rate, $20, recurring monthly subscription. A one-year subscription is a gift of $200. You get the first 3 days free just to check it out. Watch prophecyclub.com.